Look at that, I did it. I remembered how to do the intro. Oh, it's been a while, Judd. How are you doing? How is your diabetes?
All right. Been fine. I got like type 4, which I didn't even know was a thing.
Oh, you for real?
Yeah. Like
Oh.
they were like oh, you've got type 4 diabetes. And I was like, what's that? And they said, we don't know. We've never seen anybody as fat as you
Oh, right,
in
okay.
a soft. Did you think I was being serious?
Yeah.
Do you think I really
Yeah, I
got
did.
diabetes?
I did.
Yeah, great.
Oh, well, so quarantine life. It's quarantine. We're
Yeah.
all locked up. We're all in a dystopian novel about
Yeah.
being locked away by a mad Boris.
It's he's not trying to protect us or anything. He just went, right, you're all locked in now. I want to see you crawl about like little ants in your home.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
How's it treating you? Like, we had a little chat before this, didn't we, about
Yeah.
stuff.
It's been all right. I've only shaved up all my hair for the post-apocalyptic future.
Well, I've been strongly considering shaving my head because that's kind of like a common thing apparently.
It's.
Plus-
I'd actually shaved my head back in January, and I just thought like my hair grew back. I'd started styling it. I started having like a skin fade and stuff up sides, and I started being able to play about it again. And then this happened, and we were in lockdown. And it's just growing and growing, and I knew that people were just shaving their heads. So I was like, well, I did it back in January, and I didn't mind it, so I might as well just shave it all off again.
And did you do it yourself?
Yeah, I did this myself.
You just did it with like a razor?
I've got a razor.
Oh,
And
right.
I had to get my granddad to like come up and do the back of my head because obviously that was all patchy and stuff because I couldn't see what was going on. But yeah, I pretty much did it myself.
Have you seen my style thing that I've got going on at the minute?
Do you call that a style? What is that?
Yeah, what is that? Have you seen my earring? Is basically what I'm asking.
I'm not. I think I've seen it. Is it a hoop?
It is no, it's like a dangler. I'm like showing it on stream now.
Dangler. I can't see it. I'm not watching on the stream.
Yeah, I know, but it's it's a dangler. It's like Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
So
well, I wanted to ask you something like a bit, sort of on that, because with me going bald and me having a bit of a beard, not like a.
Sorry,
a
Mini
full
Rocket
proper
says
one.
hi on stream. Hi, Mini Rocket. This is
Hello.
the podcast that we did used to do, but then Judd got lazy and stupid and broke his computer. Carry on.
Yeah, I picked it up and it makes me angry and threw it against the wall.
So now he has to do it on his phone because he's a dumbass. And
Yeah.
we got Crazy Chav hosting again with 1 million viewers. Thanks, dude. Thank you. Right, Judd.
That's not real.
Keep speaking. Judd, while you've been away, I've been fucking hard grinding on this stream, right? No joke. We've actually got people who give like a tenth of a shit. Like not a full one, just like a tenth of one, and it's pretty good.
Now that I'm back, get ready to lose all of your viewership.
Yeah, I did remember Mini Rocket. Yeah, get ready to lose everything. Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah. But I was gonna say because you're my fashion go-to. You're my expert. You're my expertise. So I was saying now now that I've gone bald and I got this bit of a beard going on.
Yeah.
Do I go a bit more Viking-y with my look? Do I go for like a Viking kind of thing?
I think you could
Just like
definitely
get
pull
like
it off.
earrings, some rings, a ring on my ring. Did you?
If I were you, what my advice would be to grow the beard out as much as you can.
Yeah.
And get like a nose ring.
Yeah.
Right? And then some big chunky rings.
I'm just looking at myself on the camera now. I'm trying to imagine myself with like a nose. What like studs, or just an actual ring.
Minirocket says you should go bald, Bradley. I don't know who Bradley is, but Judd's already bald. I didn't mean to say Bradley. Just got Tourette's for the name Bradley.
That'll sound awful on mic.
So you've been painting models pretty much, haven't you?
Yeah, that's basically just what I've been doing. I play the Warhammers. I like to paint little plastic men, and so far since lockdown, I'd say since lockdown, that's kind of cheating because I'd already started on like quite a few, but I'd finished them off during lockdown. But basically since lockdown, I've painted 171 models.
Oof.
So
that's many models.
And, like some of them, most of them, I'd say about 152 are about that big.
Yeah.
And then some of them were about like that big. And then, like a few, like 5, are about that big. So you can't. I'm saying this. You can't see that on the podcast, but it's fucking. Yeah. So most of them were like, I don't know, 1 inch, 2 inch tall, and then a few of them were like about 15-inch tall, quite fat. So a lot to get at. But yeah, I've just been painting non-stop. 15 inches and quite fat. Please take that out of context.
Currently we've not been doing that much. We've been playing a lot of video games and kind of just doing any sort of things we have to do in lockdown, haven't we? Yeah. But we're technically, as of now, the government sort of have not extended lockdown or anything like that, and so we're in the last week of lockdown. So really, we've got, including today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more days being locked down. And this is just what we were talking about before we like got on the podcast, and we were saying that a lot of people are like, well, it's not only going to last that long, you should buckle in for like more weeks, which I think I agree with. Yeah, that's probably going to happen, but I don't want to think like that, if that makes sense. I want to be quite optimistic. I want to be like, well, maybe there'll not be 3 more weeks.
Yeah. So, the thing is, I know there's going to be 3 more weeks, because if you've been watching the deaths per day from the Rona, it's only been going up. I think it's at 700, 800 now.
No, it's been going down for the past 2 days.
Has it? I heard it was going
quite
up,
significantly. No, it went up to like 800 at peak, and then it went down to like 600, and then 400.
Okay, so do we think it's already peaked then? Because that's what everybody was talking about when they were like, get ready for the peak, it's going to peak. And
yeah, well, it seems like it has peaked in our country right now. So, yeah, I don't know. If it does go down, I've not seen how many it's like today, but if it does keep going down by like 200 a day, by the end of the week there'll be no deaths a day. You know, which it won't keep going down by that many. Of course it won't. I think there'll be, for the rest of the year, there'll be maybe 1 or 2 deaths a day to do with coronavirus, but I don't know.
It's weird. And in some ways, this lockdown has been hard for me. And it's only been hard for me in the sense that I'd got to a point in my life this year. I think on the last podcast that we did, I said 2020 was going to be my year, and it actually has. I've started being like way more confident in myself. I've started gaining. Well, I've sort of broadened out in my chest a bit just from like all the work I've been doing, just because I've been lifting a load of shit. I've started on a job that like pays me a fair amount. I've been planning to get onto like an apprenticeship to be on an even better job in the future, so it had been going really well for me, and I'd finally felt like I was growing up and like moving on, and then this has happened, and it's forced me to go back basically to when I was like 16, when literally all I do is stay in the house and play video games. And I've not been playing video games at all. I've not been buying any. If I'm doing anything in my spare time, it'd be painting models or going to my nerd club to paint models. But just all the time, it was just going out to spend time with my friends, or just like drinking or something, or just hanging out. And all of a sudden, it's just like okay, now do the other thing that you were doing.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't know. I was interested to see like what you've been up to, cause of
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
I thought that like if you'd have got your, because you were saving up for a computer, weren't you? And if you'd have got that before this happened,
Yeah.
that would have been quite useful.
It would have been. I have not saved up for a new computer.
You could very easily.
Yeah.
You're just not.
I could. If I had more self control, I absolutely could. It'd take 3 or 4 weeks of just waiting.
Yeah.
Maybe even less so, because I'm pretty sure I am due a tax rebate. So I don't think I'll get loads from it. I might get like 300 and 400, something like that. Just and most of that I'll get from mileage, because you can claim mileage if you've not got like a place that you always go to work. Like if you just work there forever. I've not. I work from site to site, so I get to claim mileage. So I should be able to, if I just don't spend my money, then at 3 or 4 weeks I should be able to get a PC easy.
Yeah, and it's been weird seeing you grow up in that way, because like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just strange to see. It's kind of like scary almost, because it's unknown, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
It's weird as well, because a lot of the time you've been like, oh, do you want to play Apex, or what games have you been playing, or stuff like that, and I'm like, actually I've been at work, and then I've just been out with my friends, and going to bars and stuff, and you're like,
See, I figured that if you were earning lots more money, you'd be playing more games, which kind of makes sense, really, doesn't it? Because that's like all you've ever been interested in.
Yeah, it is all I've ever been interested in, but it's just not been anymore. Because I think part of it as well was just that there weren't for a long time games that were just capturing my attention.
Yeah.
And I come home from work and I'm pretty tired, so I don't want to get into something that it either stress me out, or I've got to take a lot of time and effort to do. Well, I say that, I mean, it takes time and effort to paint, but it's like a relaxing thing.
Yeah, it's different. It's a different thing. I think that when it comes to games nowadays, games are badly. They do.
Yeah,
be
games are badly. I've been. Sorry, go on.
It's more that like it seems like you either have to be really into a game or just not really be into games at all. There's not many like good ways to be casual with games anymore. Like most games that come out aren't like good quality story games anymore. So Spider-Man is an example that came out that was a really good quality single player experience, and you barely get any of those anymore. And I think that means that if you're trying to like just sit and relax and play games and enjoy a story, you can't really do that as much. You have to get like really into a game. So
I've started. I was just telling you earlier. I've started playing Witcher 3, and it is one of the best things I've ever played. It is absolutely brilliant. It's hard to compare it to something, because it's got like bits of everything in it. Really, it's like a bit like Skyrim, and it's quite a lot like World of Warcraft. Weirdly. And it's just awesome.
It does sound.
Storytelling in it is brilliant, and it's so long as well. There's so much to do. It's awesome, and it's by CD Projekt Red, who I think they're the ones who are behind Cyberpunk 2077, which is coming out this year. So I'll probably be hooked on that as well.
It depends, because loads of stuff's been delayed, hasn't it? Like movies and everything, because it's hard for people to work on stuff. I couldn't get. I don't think I'll ever get into that game, because by the time I get in, I'd have to have sort of done everything I want to do on Apex, which is kind of like I'd have to get to Apex Predator, top 500 worldwide, and then I'd be like, right, I think I'm just done with Apex. But by the time I get to there, it'll be like an older game, The Witcher, by then. Do you know what I mean? Rocket's asking if I'm going to play Apex today. I probably will play Apex today later on. I don't know if I'll stream it. If you really want me to, I can, and I'll just be working on. I'll be looking at the new the new stuff that's just come out today. There's been a new event and stuff come out today, so I'll have a look at that and do some ranked like I normally do and all that sort of business. So yeah.
You know what else I have been playing?
What?
Doom Eternal.
Yeah, I've not got around to. I've not bought any games because I've just been like stuck playing Apex because I've like got stuff to do with that. So I've just not really
Doom
played
Eternal
anything.
It's awesome. It's the first game.
Yeah.
But it's longer.
Yeah.
And the combat is faster.
Okay.
That's it. Good. And it's brilliant.
See, even with the first Doom, I played it like a year or two after it came out anyway, so
yeah,
I think I'll be fine to do that with Doom Eternal.
I have basically already 100%ed Eternal. Like it's basically all done.
Yeah.
It is just awesome though, and it's the story in this one is a lot better. There's like a real story to it, and it's. In fact, I'll not say that because it's kind of a spoiler, but there's some comedy to it as well this time. There's not loads of comedy, but it's just little stuff like seeing how normal people react to seeing the Doomslayer, just stuff like that, because people know of the Doomslayer like in the universe, and some people have even started like worshipping him because he's just that fucking strong. And there's just like little cutscenes where like he'll just be walking through a UAC facility and like some scientists will see him and they're like, oh my god.
Sorry, I sneezed.
Also, I was saying oh my god to the Slayer, but also to that sneeze because that was quite powerful.
Oh no, it sounds good. It does sound good, and it sounds like a game
is awesome. It's really good, and there's new fucking metal songs that have been added to it, and they're awesome.
It does sound like a perfect game for me to get into after Apex, right? Because the reason I've been thinking is I don't particularly want to get into a really sort of kind of like an esportsy game again after Apex. You know what I mean? A game that's quite competitive. I want to get into like more storier games like I used to be.
Yeah.
But also, if I do that, it'd feel like I'm wasting this sort of like FPS skill I've got quite good at now, because I've spent so much time and got like so good at Apex now. I've developed all these first-person shooter skills. I don't really want to waste them either. So Doom kind of seems like it'd be a good game to go to after I'm done with Apex. Cause
I think it's the thing with Doom is that it has got a story going on, but it's not like it's super in your face with the story, like Witcher is. Witcher, you have to remember like 500 different people's names, and they're all in like old Nordic tongue and shit
it's
like
more
that.
Of a casual game, isn't it? Doom, really, in a way, it's more of a casual shooter.
It's with the combat, it can be really intense. There's some bits that you'll probably die on 4 or 5 times, but it's like. With the story, you can just go in and just rip and tear. Yeah. So it's perfect for something to just sit down and have a little bash at.
See, I do really wish you'd have got your PC, because I'd have loved to sort of show you how my Apex has improved and things like that. And there's permanent duos and everything now. And there's the old map. Yeah. There's the new map. There's all sorts, and
I think there's a lot more features on PC than there is on console, isn't there? Because I've played it. Yeah, I'm sure that like they're giving everybody on PC like all the time duos and shit like that, whereas on console we're not getting that because
it came out today.
Oh, did it? Yeah. That's only come out today. Okay, fair enough then. So, I thought that stuff like that had been out for a bit.
No, I've not played it yet. Which, the thing is, I've said this on stream, I don't know why they're putting permanent duos in and not permanent well, I do know why, but it's stupid because they're trying to say that solos is not good for the game because they want it to be about, all the team play and the different characters working together.
Yeah.
But duos is just, it may as well be trios. Like, it's not that different at all. So if you're going to split your player base, which is something you don't want to be doing, really, because you want to make sure your lobbies are like full of as many people as possible, then you need to do it for a good reason. So do it for solos, and like stop being so arrogant and telling your fans what they want.
Yeah, it's like I loved it when solos was a thing. I really enjoyed it.
Everyone loved it.
I think they're just being arseholes about it, to be honest.
I've talked about it before on loads of times on stream, what I think Apex needs to do, but yeah, I think it'd be fun because especially Costa's duos, we could definitely get a fair few wins on that.
Yeah.
Especially now, just have a look at some clips on the channel that I've got recently of just destroying people. Essentially, there's some nice Kraber shots and all sorts.
I think I should talk about my trip to Tesco, because that's actually a lot more eventful than it sounds.
Okay, you go for it. You talk about your trip to Tesco.
So, okay, so because of the way of the world right now, I was my nan was going shopping, and I thought, well, I'm going to go with her just in case something happens, because just people have been being crazy, going out and panic buying and just being arseholes. Yeah. So I just thought I should go with her and make sure she's all right. We got to Tesco, and immediately there was like tape on the floor, hazard tape, and that was to mark out. Yeah, that was to mark out the 2 meter distance that you have to keep between other shoppers. We were waiting in queue. The queue stretched out from Tesco for like quite a bit of people wanted to go in. That weren't because there were loads and loads of people going. It's because they'd only let a certain amount of people into this Tesco at one time, and it was a big one as well, not a little one.
Yeah,
they'd probably let in about
that sort of thing.
Yeah, they'd probably let in about 30 at a time.
Yeah,
and then there's the social distancing thing. So this queue went far back for a bit, and then anyway we got to like the front of it. We got to where we were just about to go in. And this lady started walking down the queue, and she said to us, only one person per household. So we weren't even allowed to go in, just me and my nan. It had to be one per house.
Sorry, there's more people joining in. Carry on. I'm just saying hello to people in chat.
Okay. So it was one person per household, so we weren't allowed to go in together. And which again, I'm not complaining about any of this, because this is all the right stuff to do. So I said to me, Nan, you go wait in the car. I'll do the shopping. Give me the list. I'll go get everything. Because I didn't want her going in there on her own.
Ivito's complaining that this isn't Apex. This is what we used to do. This is what the channel normally is. This was the
stream content.
I'm gonna put the command in ! Where is Judd? This is what this is Judd. This is some of the things we used to do before Judd broke his computer.
I did. I found a 2p coin in it, and I don't know how it got inside, and it broke it.
He literally dropped a 2p coin in his computer and broke it. But yeah,
I was like, "Is this like an old arcade machine? Do I have to feed it?"
Go on, carry on with your stupid Tesco
anyway,
story.
So I got inside, and the second I got in, there was a woman who was there. She was like, "Okay, before you go any further, I have to disinfect where you're holding onto the trolley." So. Fucking squirted it, disinfected it, and I mean, I was wearing gloves anyway. I'd gone out with gloves on just in case. It didn't help that halfway down the queue I realised that I'd scratched my face several times with the gloves I was wearing and touching stuff with. But I got in. She disinfected the handrails, and I was walking about and I could hear something, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And I sort of walked around this corner. And there was this woman having a proper heated argument with who I presume was the manager. Okay. So she was. I didn't fucking make it out because I didn't want to stand there and watch, because I didn't want to. You see it all the time in like World Star videos, don't you, where there'll be like a fight or something, or somebody was stood there recording with a phone. I didn't want to be one of those people. So, but she was getting proper upset.
You should have recorded it for content, Judd. Come on.
No, I didn't want to do that. But it was just so surreal, because they had people going round like this big Tesco's all the time saying, "Don't go too close, don't too many people at one time, go down this aisle and don't just all of this shit. If you pick an item up, you have to buy the item, you can't then put that item back down." And again, all of it made sense. It was all reasonable, but it was the fact that it had to be put in place like at all upset me, and it was I I will
is
say
crazy.
it was upsetting. It was upsetting seeing stuff like that because it's just surreal. Like the first time I heard about Corona and like people starting to worry about it, I was making jokes about it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people
Yeah.
I know were making jokes about Corona, and now it is really fucking scary.
It is.
So-
It is kind of crazy, and just. I don't know. I don't know. I was gonna say
It was
something, but I can't.
no, I know
Yeah.
it's weird. But anyway, I did all the shopping. I got to the checkout, and the two of the checkout ladies were just talking to each other, and I was just overhearing what they were saying, and it was just people just being fucking idiots at this time. Like, and it's over the smallest stuff as well. Like just asking people to keep away a bit so that they can have social distancing. People go fucking crazy with that.
What do you mean? Like they get mad at you asking them to do that?
Yeah, they get mad at people asking you to do that. Me mum went to a shop not too long ago. She was there with my little sister, so they must not have been doing the one person per household thing. But she got in, and it was one of the people who worked there who was like really close to her
Yeah.
for like the entire time she was shopping. And at one point, my mum just went, "Excuse me, love, can you back off a bit because we're meant to be keeping distance?" And she went crazy. This woman, she went mental. She was like saying, "Have you heard what she's saying? I work here. This is a bloody piss take, and I know the rules." And it's like, well, do it then.
You know them, but you're not exactly doing them,
Yeah.
are you?
So,
Well,
But
I don't
yeah,
know.
it's
It's
just-
all a bit mental at the minute. It's genuinely like we're living in some sort of sci-fi novel or something.
Yeah.
It is really close. Have you seen Barnsley Town Centre?
I haven't, but I assume it's just a ghost town.
Well, there's no one there for a start. Well,
Yeah.
there's obviously going to be like a few people wandering around, but there's these like motion detected speakers. So if you walk past them, there's like this tannoy voice of this woman that goes, "Please keep social distance," and things like that, and it like gives you a
Yeah.
bunch of like stuff like "only go out for necessary trips," and it's genuinely like something out of like like Half-Life 2 or whatever.
I was just gonna say it's like Half-Life 2 with the oh fuck, what are they called?
I don't know, but
See, I can't remember, but it's it's like out of that where you expect to see like on Hunger Games where there's like a big sort of screen in the middle of town centre and President Snow's face comes up. You imagine to see that, but with Boris. Boris is like, "Good evening, people of the nation."
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that's like the case in London.
I mean, it kind of is though, isn't it? Because you get addresses from him, don't you? Like
Yeah.
we had an address from the Queen. I don't know if that was yesterday or
Oh,
the
that
day
was just a
before.
load of
But
bullshit. She's just a scapegoat.
Yeah.
She doesn't do anything.
no, yeah. But
Although
we get
is
from
it her
Boris,
son or
don't
her
we? So,
husband that's got ill?
I'm not too sure, but I think he's all right now. I think he got it, and then his conditions are lessening. So I don't think he's over it, but I think he's getting.
Well,
over
Boris is not all right, is he? He's in intensive care.
I know he was supposed to be all right. Like he got it, and then he started saying, "Oh no, I'm feeling all right now."
Yeah.
And then he's just been put in intensive care.
Well,
so
he got worse, and it's crazy that
Yeah.
like our prime minister's in that sort of state. I don't know.
which I don't. I mean, I'm okay with Boris. I'm not like a huge fan of him, but people are just fucking happy that he's in hospital.
Yeah, it's,
And that's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't like Corbyn so much, but I don't want to see him in hospital.
No,
I know Corbyn's got like a wife and a family, and he don't want to take that home with. Boris has got a wife and a child. You don't want to see anybody get it.
well, it was really weird because people who live near us generally, pretty much, I'd say 90% of people who live in the area that we live in don't like our Prime Minister and the Conservatives, the political party that's in power. And I think I mostly agree, but it was really weird when, when we first sort of had lockdown, when all the shops shut and that, and sort of lockdown pretty much first happened. And they announced what they were going to do with it. And the fact that they were going to like compensate businesses and things like that. And when I heard it, I was like, oh, they're doing something good. Oh, they're actually doing it right. Weird. Like it was like it was weird seeing that they were actually like doing what was right and not just being the bad guys for once, if that makes sense. I was like, oh,
and it's
crazy. I got a lot more respect
yeah.
for him from that.
It's a really hard time as well, isn't it? Because nothing, I mean, stuff like this has happened, but not to really to this degree. Where I mean, if the if like the Black Death would have happened at these times, there would have been the stuff that's been happening now put in place, but they didn't know back then to like keep social distance and all of that stuff, did they? And I mean, it was mainly rats that transmitted that disease anyway, so it was kind of different, but it's
kind of
in modern times, as we know what we know now, nothing like this has really happened. So we've not had a lockdown on this scale, and we've not had constant addresses from the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
If you turn on the TV, everything on Sky, if you look at Sky News, everything says coronavirus update. The entire thing is just taken up by segments of that. So it is weird. It's like living out of
it's been a really bad year for hay fever as well, because all the nature's like regenerating and that, so everyone's like in a big panic because if they get hay fever, like, oh no, it's the big Rona. Because I've been so hay fevery, but I can definitely I can always tell the difference between a cold and hay fever. It makes it feels different, and I've not had like other symptoms anyway at all.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that my eyes have felt itchy.
Yeah, I had I was smoking before the start of this year, and about pretty much on New Year's I stopped smoking, and I've not smoked since. So I'm pretty happy that I stopped, seeing as this is a disease that attacks your lungs.
Yeah,
it was
smoking.
Yeah, it was good
I fucking hate smoking of any kind. Honestly,
it's. I did it a lot when I was stressed out, and like I'm not stressed anymore, so I don't do it. I have no need to do it, so I just stop. Which, if you're smoking right now, you shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's I don't really want to get into it. But speaking of the big Rona, because this Judd's face has disappeared. I don't know what's happened to Judd right now. He seems to have vanished. But that's a good time to do this advertisement segment, I think. Maybe he'll come back.
I don't know what happened there.
Oh, I can hear you. I can't see you. But anyway,
that was weird.
This video is definitely going to get like this. This goes up on YouTube as a video segment if you want to go and watch that. I'm thinking of starting like the Games Badly YouTube channel and making specific content for that. So maybe it'll go on that. Maybe it'll be on more Jacob Fox. We'll see. But it's on YouTube and it will definitely get demonetized. So if you want to support us in any way, you can listen to it on Spotify. You can watch along on twitch.tv/gamesbadly. There's donation links. You can buy merch in links below and all sorts of dealios like that.
Do you think they know that like whenever I'm on a video, they just automatically demonetize it? Like they've got a facial recognition for me.
Yeah, we don't get monetization on YouTube for these podcasts yet anyway, so but if we did, then it'd get demonetized. So if you want to support, like, those are some ways. Follow Tweets Badly for stream news. Yeah. That's just some stuff I have to get out of the way each podcast. Also, I think we still get sponsors on the Spotify version of the podcast, so that's pretty cool.
Have we got Bad Dragon to sponsor us yet?
No, we've not.
Then why are you still trying? You say that you've been doing all of this great stuff for the podcast, but the one thing that we set out to do at the beginning has not been achieved yet. So
that's your role. You were supposed to be doing that.
I'm sure. Did I not contact them? Did I not? Oh, was that you? Or did you send them an email like "Hello, Bad Dragon"?
We sent them an email, I think, or we tweeted at them or something. But
we need everybody. We need your following that you've amassed to go and mass tweet at Bad Dragon.
The like 3 or 4 people. Do you know something cool I have set up, Judd?
What?
And if you're watching on the video version or
Yeah. What? Oh God, this is good podcast material.
Sorry. I just realised on this media share thing I've just transitioned to. I've not put my microphone on. I've set up a media share thing where if you donate, it essentially plays a video on the stream, and I think I've not tested it out, but I think it works. And what I wanted to, like, if we ever do a drunk stream and things like that again, then this would be a fun thing to be doing while doing that. And also, if I managed to get to master on Apex, I wanted to have like a party stream, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where we just like party and essentially watch these dumb videos that like have been sent in from donations or whatever. So I think that'd be pretty fun. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I'd just tell you. I thought you'd be interested in the fact that we can do like media share now.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can do something with that.
I think that's pretty fun.
Right.
Oh God, what else was I going to say?
Have you got anything else?
Well, we've only been going for like 35 minutes, and we've got 2 hours to fill. So.
Jesus, I've not missed this.
You're so cynical. You're the worst.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I was going to say something else, but my brain doesn't work anyway, so...
God, has anything happened? No,
have you got any stream stories?
I haven't any stream stories. I've not done anything, really.
My hair's very, very long and weird looking at the minute.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Have you seen it?
I have seen it. I've seen it on Instagram.
It's ridiculous. It's getting so long, and I dyed it before as well for like because I was bored and for a laugh, and I've not been able to like get it cut out of my hair or the dye yet. So just like the ends of it. If you're watching on the video version, you can see how much roots I've got. I've got like 1.5 inches root before it's blonde. It's bad. I can see the roots. It's not great.
I've got a story that something that happened to a friend of mine. It's not something that happened to me, but it's from a friend of mine. So, I've got this mate. It was up all night drinking. I assume he was on like Discord to his friends, and he'd made it like. He said he went out of his way to be quiet for the neighbours because he was up till 5 a.m. So he's been as quiet. You can't see it on the podcast, but I'm doing quotation marks. And he's been woken up at 12, I think it was. Yeah. Banging on the door. His mother goes down, and she's like, "What's up?" And they say to her, "Can you please tell your son to stop making all this noise
at midnight?"
So at the no, like at 12, like in the day. The next day. Yeah. So his neighbours have knocked on the door and said, "Can you please tell your son to stop making all this noise?" And she's like, "What noise? What noise? I've never heard him."
Yeah.
And they've gone to him. Are you taking sleeping pills? Are you taking sleeping pills? Because we heard him clear as day. And Tom, well, I almost said this. Oh fuck it, he don't care if I say his name. My mate Tom, he was like, he almost like fucking smacked her because this woman's like, just basically calling his mum a druggie. Like not saying like, do you take sleeping pills? Like, do you snort sleeping pills? because we could hear him at early hours in the morning.
And, how could they hear him? Is he in a detached house or is it a terrace house or what?
Well, it's semi-detached, but the thing is that the people on the other side are like this sort of. It's weird, the layout of the house, because it goes onto like another street that you can't really get to his on. So unless they walked up their street and like sort of came all the way around to his, then they're not going to go around and complain. And the people that are next to him on the street, they surely to God shouldn't have heard him because that is on a detached house. That's on another property. So okay. I don't know how they've heard him, but they must have because they're at his door knocking on the door, and he had been staying up till 5. So they must have heard him somehow. But anyway, they've ended up in an argument. They said that his mum's a consumer of sleeping pills, essentially. And then he's after that ordeal, he's gone down to like the little petrol station that's open near his, and I know Tom. Whenever he's hungover, he always likes to get a Monster. That's always his hangover cure, is a Monster. Right. So he's gone down to the petrol station to get that, and also some jewel pods for his little jewel thing, his vape pen thing.
Yeah.
And he said to the woman, "Can I get like so and so for jewel pod?" And like she's gone, "Oh, this one," and pointed to the wrong one. He's gone, "No, not that one. That one. Oh, this one. No, not that one." And that went on for about 5 or 6 times. He's gone, no, look, this one. And he's leant over and pointed to the specific one. And I swear, well, this is what he says. She's turned to him and gone, "Keep away! Social distancing!" Like a gremlin. And he's gone, "All right, I'm nowhere near you." I'm just pointing to the thing. And she's giving it him and gone, "Go away! Get out!"
Everyone's going crazy lately, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a bad time in the country.
Speaking of crazy, have you seen the Tiger King documentary?
I have seen Tiger King. I have never been more in love with a man in my entire life. I think he's absolutely brilliant. Honestly,
everyone in that show is completely mental. And it keeps... I don't understand how they get more and more mental as the whole thing progresses. You see them, right? Every one of them, you see them and think, they're a bit weird, them, aren't they? They're quite a bit of a weirdie. And then you find out more and more about them, and you think, oh my God, they're weirder than I thought. Oh, they're even weirder than I thought. Oh my God, how weird can these people get?
Yeah. It's... They are fucking weird. It's,
if for anyone who's not seen it, probably spoilers ahead, because we'll probably... talk about things that happened during it. So if you want to go and watch the entire Tiger King documentary before listening to this, then fine. But I don't know. There's sort of 2 things I wanted to ask you about to do with that. First of all, what did you think when one of his husbands accidentally blew his head off? That see, I was so shocked from that.
It's kind of weird because it's a documentary, and I suppose it's all a matter of public record, but it seems so unbelievable, doesn't it? It seems so scripted, because the shot that you get when one of his husbands shoots himself, is that the camera is looking at somebody else, because it's security camera footage. Yeah. It's looking at somebody else, and basically what this guy's Joe Exotic's just thinking his name is fucking great. Joe Exotic's husband is doing is he's playing with his fucking gun like a dickhead. He's pointing it at this guy, and you can see a guy in the background scurry off because this guy's waving a gun about, and this guy's like, don't point a gun at people, and he goes, "What are you talking about? This gun ain't even loaded. See?" And he puts it to his head and fucking shoots himself.
It shouldn't be funny, but it kind of is.
But the thing is, the guy's reaction, who you're currently watching from the security footage, his reaction is like the Home Alone face, where he puts his hands on his cheek and he's like going, so it's.
But the thing is, how else would you react? It's not a bad reaction, is it?
I don't know. I don't know what the appropriate reaction to watching a man blow his brains out is. So it's weird. But he sits there in silence for a good 20 seconds, and then he starts going, "Shit, he's actually dead."
Yeah, so, he's like, "Oh my God, that actually just happened." It's really crazy. That was the bit that because they kind of dump it on you quite quick, that as well, and I was like, oh. Holy
it's and it's weird, isn't it? Because doesn't he talk a bit in the documentary to the camera crew and stuff?
Yeah, that's what I think is so interesting about this documentary is the documentary they were with them from the full thing, because they were going to do a documentary on him anyway, and then all of this stuff was happening around him, so they caught it all on camera. Even when that woman's arm got bit off. Yeah, that was caught.
She was awesome, by the way. She was the only sort of normal person in
She
that whole
wasn't
thing. She was
normal
still a
at
bit.
all.
She was
She was-
still a bit weird.
She was
but
weird
she
as
was
fuck.
one of. She was one of the more normal people.
I don't
and
think
she was
I think
pretty
normal's
cool.
the wrong
I
word. I
liked
think
her.
she was one of the more nice people, one of the
She
more
was
friendly
really.
people.
She was really chill, weren't she? She
Yeah.
was really calm about the whole situation.
She wasn't necessarily
but,
crazy, but she was still weird and just strange.
I liked her. I thought she was cool.
But I really think that moment where that guy accidentally shot himself, it's like, come on, why?
Yeah.
A gun's so easy to fuck around with in that country and just...
I know it's weird, but it just yeah. It's weird how quick it is as well, because it just sort of goes, oh yeah, Joe Exotic's husband fucking shot himself.
Yeah, it's crazy. The other thing is,
Like,
do you think
Yeah.
like what do you think Carol Baskin fed her husband to tigers?
yeah, you know what? Yeah, just because how weird everything is in that situation. If Carol Baskin fed her husband to the tigers, I would just it wouldn't surprise me. I'd just be
Really?
like, yeah,
with
that's
how
on
weird
top of
everything
it as
else
well.
is, that's the only thing that would have fit.
Yeah,
Because they
It's
were
just-
all that weird that like that just sort of stuff was happening all the time.
yeah.
But
I mean,
I've been talking.
yeah.
I talked to someone about it, and they said they don't think she's done it because she was kind of like a good guy, but
she weren't. She was doing literally the same thing that Joe Exotic was doing, except she wasn't breeding the tigers. And I'd say she kept her tigers in worse condition.
yeah,
So-
it was weird because she did seem to be keeping them in worse condition, but she didn't do like cub petting and breeding and stuff, which was which was supposedly bad and illegal. But I don't know. They all
mean,
just seem
I don't
weird, but
think-
with a
I don't
different
think-
brand of weird.
Yeah, I don't think the cub petting is so bad, but I do think that the breeding in captivity is bad, because what you're meant to be doing really there is adopting these animals that have been brought over and abused and raised in captivity, and you're meant to be giving them a safer home and letting them live their life out in a safe environment. So it kind of defeats the purpose if you're then breeding more in captivity. So
Yeah.
Carol Baskin is right to not be breeding them, but you see the conditions that she put them in, and they're worse than Joe Exotic. So,
It's
and she's still making money off of it as well. She's not,
yeah.
she's
It's all weird and
profiting,
bad,
so-
really, isn't it? It's not the best. But what about? Do you think that like they were actually trying to kill her, and like who? What do you think the deal was with that?
I'm just inclined to believe, because of the bizarreness of the situation, that they just were trying to kill her. I just think they were trying
all
to
of
kill
them.
her.
But like who? Do you think it was like Joe's idea mostly, or do you think it was
I
that
think
like that other guy?
mostly it was Joe. Mostly it was Joe.
Yeah, that would make sense as well, because he like was the one that hated her the most. There was that other guy who kind of
Yeah.
stole the park from Joe, weren't they? And he just
Yeah,
didn't
but-
really seem to give a shit about Carol that much. So he was just kind of
It
trying to
was-
make money. There was nothing. Yeah.
It's great though. I feel like everybody should watch Tiger King.
Yeah.
If not just to listen to Joe Exotic's beautiful voice.
Well, he's exploded on
He's-
Twitter now. Like he's really
That's it.
popular on Twitter. It's
Yeah.
crazy, and I do think the main appeal of it is that they filmed everything. They were there for everything. That's
Yeah.
absolutely insane. It's brilliant.
It was absolutely brilliant timing, weren't it? Do
Yeah.
you think they were making their documentary on their own, and then they stumbled across gold, and then like Netflix came in and they went, "We want this because this is brilliant"? Or do you think they were doing it for Netflix anyway?
No, I think cause they were there for so long and caught so much. I think they were just doing a documentary anyway. But there was
Yeah.
that other guy who were filming a TV show, weren't they? As
Yeah.
well. So I don't know. I'm not sure. It's all a bit
it
of
is-
a weird. It's all
yeah.
the thing is as well. It's kind of hard to follow and kind of hard to know what's gone on because they're all so sporadic and crazy in what they do
Yeah.
that it's hard to really know the situation well at all.
Hmm.
And I don't think most of them know the situation. I think they're all stupid as well. So
Yeah.
it's mental. It really is.
And I think it sort of catches you by surprise as well, because like the first time you sort of see Joe Exotic, if not for the way he sort of talks, I never would have guessed, especially because of where he lives. I never would have guessed that Joe Exotic is gay, like ever.
Yeah, I know.
And then it's like you find out that he's gay, and it's like, okay, that's a surprise. And then it's like, oh, also he has 2 husbands. It's like,
Yeah,
fucking
they just
slow
keep
down a
throwing
second,
more at you,
sunshine.
don't they? It's like, oh, okay, what? He's trying to kill someone? What?
Yeah, it just layers on top of each other, just this weird fucking life.
I
But
found
I
it
think
really funny finding out that both of his husbands weren't even really gay. They were just pretending.
Yeah,
They just felt
yeah,
like being married to him somehow. I don't.
yeah. One of them, he went up to one of them. He said, "Are you gay?" He went, "No, I'm straight." He went, "Do you like to watch porn ass guys with big dicks in it?" He went, "Yeah." Well, you're not straight. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Your
Fully
logic is
convinced
flawless.
him.
Marry me. But the thing is, I always found that I tried to get myself in situations that are just like hilarious and like just because I like getting in weird situations so that's a story to tell.
Yeah.
Because it's just always about the story at the end of it. And so this guy who was raised tigers and had multiple husbands at the same time and may be involved in a murder plot and also has multiple albums released, I just think he's brilliant. I think he's I think he's a living legend.
He's not a good person, I would say.
He's not.
But he's a very entertaining person.
He himself is not a good person, but the idea of Joe Exotic is brilliant.
Yeah.
The idea that a man like that walks this earth is awesome because he's one of those guys that you see in like parodies of American culture.
Yeah.
Like he's like a Brock Sampson from Venture Bros. If I don't know if anybody gets that reference, who's like a proper macho guy and he's super pro-American and he'll fight everybody.
Yeah.
And Joe Exotic's like one of them. He's like a parody of American culture of like guns and eating burgers and living with tigers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's like, he shouldn't exist, but there he is. He's right there.
Yeah.
So
I find things
brilliant.
like that so much more interesting. I'm finding documentaries and things so much more interesting than like regular programming.
Yeah.
And I don't know why necessarily, but maybe just because it's real. I don't know. I've been loving. I don't know. Maybe I'll save this for next podcast because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think stuff that's got a real life story is quite a lot more interesting to me now than fictional stuff. I'm not that into a lot of different fictional things. Have you been watching Have you watched much of anything else? Like obviously, because we've had plenty of time to watch things.
I started rewatching Torchwood. There was that. I started properly watching Witcher because obviously I've been playing it, so I wanted to watch Witcher, and that's been all right. We watched the Tiger King documentary. I watched The Platform, which was a pretty weird movie, which is on Netflix.
Sounds weird.
It was yeah. What, have you seen it?
No, it sounds weird
Okay.
though.
It's I think it's a movie that is more focused on trying to get a message across.
Sorry, I just shit. I just
What?
I just got outbid on something I wanted on eBay, and I was like literally watching the countdown, thinking, right, I'm gonna have to do this on podcast. I've got like I'm gonna wait 5 minutes and bid like 2 minutes before it's over, and I just forgot, and then I just opened my phone and it went, "You've been outbid," and I was like, shit.
What was it?
It was a new graphics card. I want to get another graphics card for my computer to beef it up a bit, but
yeah. But yeah, it's just so it's a movie that is too caught up in trying to get its own message across to the viewers than actually making a good story, like in its universe, if you get what I mean. Because it just gets weird and it gets a bit preachy because you can sort of see. I'm not going to say what happens in it because of spoilers, but you can see what they're going for. And they don't really achieve it that well.
Right.
And in doing so, they also fail to get a coherent story across within their own, universe. So
I think that happens quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. which it just because it's all well and good trying to give the audience something to go away with at the end of a movie, but when you get so caught up in that, you actually look back at your movie and say, "Oh, what were we trying to do here?" For our movie. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I've not. It's been lockdown, hasn't it? I haven't really got any stories to tell because I've not been able to go out and do anything.
Yeah, that's why I think it's going to be hard to think of stuff to talk about on podcasts.
Yeah,
but
I might try and bully you into only doing one podcast today because I know that dinner's just about to be ready as well, and we've got shit to do, so we might just have to do one for today. But
we can just do one a week anyway if you want anyway, because we'll probably only want to publish one a week, and we may as well just record one a week, I suppose. If for the people who want to know, we're planning on doing these every Wednesday. Well, recording them every Wednesday while lockdown's going on. And so if you want to watch them live, twitch.tv/gamesbadly, that's where we'll be doing that. Then they will probably be...
You're probably... Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, you're probably going to continue this stream on with Apex anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll probably keep going on stream with Apex. But then there'll also be... for the like Spotify, if you want to listen to it on Spotify and things like that, and watch it on after the fact on YouTube, it'll probably go up on the Thursday, like the day after. The more I stare at my bald head on this camera, the more that I'm like getting into it. I'm like, I could be all right with this bald head. Okay, well, you go and have a nice wank over your bald head.
And I'll make sure to rub it in on my bald head as well and be going like that.
Right, okay, enjoy your bald head.
I will.
Bye.
Okay, bye.